Welcome back to Fan Hour 1 and oh yes, we are back for the next 60 minutes. Today we've teamed up yet again with Colossus Bets. We're going to be answering all of your questions live, so get them in the comments below as fast as you possibly can. We're also taking on their Pick 15 challenge. Basically, we've picked results from the biggest fixtures around Europe, biggest 15 fixtures from around Europe for the weekend coming to give you guys at home the shot of winning a share of £800,000 from as little as 20 pence. So click the link in the description right now to get involved. Believe us, it's definitely worth it. What would you do with 800k, lads?
I'd have you assassinated.
Oh, good answer. Dave?
Probably go on a massive holiday.
Alright, that was a bit boring. But it's not just Dave and Chris here today, is it? We've also got Social Corner involved, so let's see who's dwelling over there.
Oh, yes, it's me and Pete Dorman and his marvellous Tash. Look at that. A thing of beauty. But yes, we are going to be asking your questions to the guys. So Pete, kick it off with our first one.
The first question comes from Breezer, and he asks, who has been the best signing of the season so far?
Ooh. Undeniably Mohamed Salah.
I've got major Tash envy, by the way.
Yeah, it's a nice Tash, Pete.
Outstanding effort.
It's definitely Mohamed Salah. Top scorer in the Premier League. I think he's broken the record for the fastest 14 goals in Liverpool's club history, overtaking Luis Suarez, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, in the league, I think he equalled Daniel Sturridge's 12-goal haul after 13 games, and he broke Robbie Fowler's 21-year record of 9 league goals in 10, 11, 12 games. So yeah, congratulations to him. What a bargain he looks at £40 million now.
Incredible. I don't know how they managed to do it, because do you remember over the summer they were like quibbling over like I know, word of the day, ladies and gentlemen, note that down. They were quibbling over like £2 or £3 million. It almost fell through because they didn't want to pay that like 40 million. They wanted to get him for like 30.
I think it was £35 million, £40 million actually.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible bit of business by Liverpool.
To be fair to you, Joe, he was signed before Neymar, right? So after Neymar, you kind of have to look at last year's transfer before and after Neymar, right? So that 35 million before Neymar, that was probably a risk because he definitely flopped when he was at Chelsea. He looks a half decent player at Roma, so it was definitely a gamble. But they took it. 35 million does look like a snip. But my best player in the transfer window, on a free, Said Kalajniak, whatever his name is, unbelievable signing.
Come on.
On a free.
Yeah, it's a good signing on a free, but come on, he's Mo Salah for £30 million.
He can't contest with Mo Salah. I think he had 29 goals, 17 assists before he came to Liverpool. So had 2 very good seasons in the Serie A with Roma, one with Fiorentina as well, actually. But no one, I don't think, anticipated the effect he'd have on this side. No. And I think he's now odds on to be a top goal scorer in the Premier League, and who would contest against it? I think he's having 4 shots a game, 3 from inside the box. The stats are mental.
Another possible shout I'm going to throw in here, not a player,
go on.
So it's a little bit rogue. I'm going to go, what about Marco Silva? Really good signing by Watford in the summer. Nobody would have predicted them to be 8th in the Premier League at this stage. Their away record is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Burnley somehow dwelling up in 7th. But I have to say, Watford, surprise package of the season other than Burnley for me, and that is all down to Marco Silva, really.
Yeah.
Look at some of the signings he made, the likes of Richarlison. I think he's done really well there.
Richarlison, the kid from Burnley, he's provided them. Andre Gray provided them pace out wide. Obviously, he builds a very good defence, doesn't he? But on the subject of managers, I think Spalletti to Inter was also an outstanding managerial appointment. They did very well to get him, considering how bad they were under Pioli, and now they're flying high. Can you think of any others, Dave?
What, in terms of managers?
Managers, players, anyone we haven't mentioned thus far? I mean, Edison, he's been pretty good at Manchester City, hasn't he?
Morata's been good at Chelsea.
Morata at Chelsea.
He had a bit of a slow start, didn't he, Morata? I know when he first came, people were definitely on his back because, you know, like
I think he went through a
cost
6-game
a lot of money,
period,
but now you look at him now, he looks a very,
I mean, Real Madrid are crying out for him. I mean, Real Madrid can't score goals, and they sold a 23, 24-year-old sensation to Chelsea for what now looks like a snip. You talked about the Neymar deal going through for 200+ million. If you'd have said after that you could get Morata for 55 or whatever they're going for, you should spite around.
Well, Real Madrid also sold Mariano to Lyon, and he's got 11 goals in 14 games for just £8 million. So he's a great signing for them in League, and they've been one of the exciting teams to watch at the start of the season. But I think that covers it.
Yeah,
next question.
I agree. Next question, come on.
This one comes from Georgie, and he asks, how do you think England will do in the World Cup?
Go on, Dave.
Do you mind if I kick this one off?
Jacko out.
So, England will be anywhere near even the semi-finals, never mind winning the thing. I just hope they go there and they give it everything they have and leave it all on the pitch. I think that's all any England fan actually wants. This isn't a great England team. It's not even a great. It's a terrible England team, if I'm being honest. They've got one decent player in Harry Kane, as much as that pains me to say. And if they get past the quarters, they've had a great tournament. Come home with their heads held very high.
I'd say individually we have some very good players, but I'd agree with you in terms of team chemistry. It's perhaps not quite there. We've got outstanding players in sort of Dele Alli as well, Kyle Walker, Danny Rose, Raheem Sterling. I think our chances largely hinge on players from Tottenham and Manchester City carrying their club form into the international setup. What about you?
Yeah, look, we're not going to win the competition. I'd be happy with a quarter-final. I think that the one advantage we've got this year is that the tactical brains, the tactical, like how they've been drilled during the season is now massively improved to where it was potentially 4 to 8 years ago. I think that Pep Guardiola, Pochettino, Jurgen Klopp are all much better tacticians than we saw in the league a few years ago when you had the likes of Harry Redknapp managing Tottenham, etc.
Yeah.
So I personally think that if Southgate can get them playing in a similar way to the way they play at their clubs, we stand a pretty good chance. But equally, we don't have the quality of the likes of Spain. We don't have the quality of the likes of Germany, and we definitely don't have the quality of the likes of France.
I think in terms of starting 11, we potentially do, but it's that depth, isn't it? That we don't possess when you go on to...
And system.
When you take a look at our bench and you see the likes of sort of Harry Winks on there, Jack Cork was talked about as a potential call-up for the Germany and Brazil games, Jake Livermore, all fine players, solid players. I think Harry Winks will be a good player, but rather uninspiring. You look at Spain's bench, Isco.
Yeah.
You look at Germany's bench, Draxler. France's bench, and is Jeffrey Kondogbia even going to make the squad? Who knows? And he's had a great season for Valencia. But I'm going to predict we're going to crash out in the quarterfinals on penalties.
Fair enough. But
I'm going to go quarterfinals as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think one of our biggest problems, we don't have enough match winners. Like, we don't have a pit forget even coming off the bench, just starting. How many players can actually win a game?
Yeah, I just wonder whether we also missed this. It sounds so stupid, but that one player who by himself, I suppose it is the same as match winner, can just go, 30-yard bang, top corner.
Well, Raheem Sterling's been a match winner for Manchester City this season, hasn't he? And it is whether we can, in the international setup, accommodate him in the same way that Pep does.
Which we won't be able to. It's just not going to happen.
Well, Gareth Southgate spoke about playing 3-4-3, 4-3-3, hasn't he?
He definitely wants to play 3 at the back, I think.
But we'll see how that materialises. Not convinced about Eric Dyer as a centre-back, actually.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get the World Cup draw of death, though. But anyway, we will be doing a World Cup live draw in a couple of days on the Football Daily Facebook page. So make sure you head over there. Facebook.com/Football Daily. I think little plug there, little plug. We'll be doing a draw over there, alternative. So make sure you check that out. But let's get the next question for now.
Considering we're talking about the World Cup, we may as well stay on it for the next question, which comes from Jermaine Garcia, who asks, who do you think will be the dark horse in the World Cup next year?
Oh my goodness. Dark horse. There are some candidates. Now, I don't think they're obviously not dark horses, so I'm going to get hammered for saying this. But in fact, they're probably favourites, aren't they? But I think Spain should be overwhelming favourites if they're not already.
Over France?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Over Germany?
Yeah, I really do. I think Spain don't have a weakness in their entire team.
I mean, Lopetegui, has got them playing extremely well after that little lull following the last World Cup. I think they went back to playing with no striker in qualification. In fact, I think they unpicked Italy 3-0 without a recognised striker on the pitch. So I agree, they are a very frightening prospect. I'm trying to think of some underdogs. This is Panama's first World Cup. Belgium been perpetual sort of dark horses, haven't they? But I think now, given that squad, you couldn't classify them as unfancied. Does anyone spring to mind? Maybe Australia, Dave?
I was thinking maybe, say Luis Suarez country.
Uruguay,
yeah. They've got a decent team. You know what I mean? I know they've got a couple of stars in, obviously Luis Suarez and what's his face, the fella from PSG.
Cavani. Yeah. Solid defence as well. Diego Godin and Jimenez. I always get Saul Niguez and Jimenez mixed up. So it is Jimenez.
A few people in the comments saying Switzerland They also think Belgium in for a shout.
No chance. Name and shame those people who said Switzerland.
Yeah, whoever it was that said Belgium and Switzerland, I just don't think they're going to win the competition. But it's equally, World Cup, isn't it? Anything can happen. We've seen teams fall by the wayside in a big way before, and I'm sure one major team will. Brazil as well looked fantastic on the qualifying road.
I really like this Brazil side for the first time in a long time. I think Tite, the new manager, has got them playing a brand of sort of highly structured, organised football, and then sort of in the final third letting them be essentially, Brazilian with the Gabriel Jesuses, the Coutinhos. They've got some industry in there as well with the Paulinhos. I think it's Renato Augusto. He plays as well. Few weird choices in there.
Yeah,
persevered with Paulinho even when he was playing in China, and now he's killing it for Barcelona. So fair play to him. But yeah, Brazil, good shout.
Also, thinking maybe like Portugal, it's probably going to be Cristiano Ronaldo's last World Cup. Ooh, they know how. The thing is with that, they actually know how to win. And I think that's one of the areas where England always fall down. Like there's been times when we have definitely had better teams than the teams we've been knocked out at. But it's about just getting through, right? And now they know how to do that. They've won the first competition in the Euros 2 years ago. Ronaldo's last. This is going to be his last World Cup. So
he was great in qualification as well.
Yeah. I mean, Big Shaq agrees with you. He says Portugal. Carl Farrar says Croatia. Top Throttle says Sweden. Hopefully Zlatan doesn't return though, because I think that would ruin it. Rambo says Nigeria.
What about Africa? I was just about to say, what about an African side? I'd love to see one of those reach the semi-finals.
Ryan Murray says Egypt. Mo Salah, anything's possible.
Mo Salah. I mean, they are now known as Mohamed Salah's Egypt. That's their nickname. Because he carried them in qualification. But can't see him getting much further, to be honest.
Let's move off the World Cup, and let's go to our next question.
Okay, this one comes from Christian Seals, and he said, make a five-a-side team using one player from each of the 5 leagues. The Premier League, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, Serie A, question. And La Liga.
That's a really good question.
Okay, so goalkeeper has to be
David De Gea
or Manny Neuer, right?
Yeah, although Ter Stegen has been in phenomenal form this season.
I think he's saving like 7 shots for every goal, which is
conceded
insane at this
5
point.
in the entire league season so far?
Yeah, conceded 1 against Valencia the other day.
Yeah, I would still say De Gea though, personally.
I'll agree then, De Gea.
Yeah, because he's probably the Premier League's genuinely world-class player, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
That means no more Premier League players after that.
Yeah.
Oh no, because come on, De Bruyne has got to make the team at the moment.
Yeah, he has. I think we take Manuel Neuer from the Bundesliga, because I think the Bundesliga in terms of superstars aren't.
Yeah. Do you know what defender I really like at the moment? Tite. I think he is an incredible defender, and he is largely, not to blame, wrong word, but to credit with Barcelona sort of rearguard action.
But if you take Tite, means you can't take Messi going forward.
That's mental.
So I think you have to have maybe a Ligue 1 defender.
So hold on, I think we need to decide who our La Liga player is. And then
it has to be Messi.
Messi,
best of all time.
Yeah, okay, so it's like a forward, right?
So we've got
Manny Neuer in goal, Messi up top. So we need the 3 players in between.
So are we going to say Kevin De Bruyne then, if we're saying the Premier League?
Kevin De Bruyne,
Neymar from Ligue 1.
Yeah.
Neymar from Ligue 1, which is... So what's the 5th league we're missing?
Serie A.
Serie A.
Oh, a defender from Serie A, easy.
Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect.
I mean, not Bonucci, he's having a terrible season. Maybe Chiellini.
Yeah, probably Chiellini. Savage. Although Koulibaly as well.
Yeah, I'll be happy with either of them.
Yeah, let's go Chiellini. So our team would be from one of each of the top 5 leagues. Neuer, Chiellini, KDB, Messi and Neymar. It's pretty exciting. I maybe even play Messi in midfield in there. But what would your team be? Why don't you let us know your team in the comments below? We'll read some of them out later.
Great question, by the way.
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. In fact, we've got one here from Ahmed who says Neuer, Nainggolan, Hazard, Neymar, Messi. He's stuck Nainggolan in there. There's no defenders there. That is optimistic.
Hazard instead of KDB. Although Hazard, I think, would be ruthless at 5-a-side. He's such a nippy little bugger, isn't he?
Yeah, he would be really ruthless. Keep them coming as well. Social Corner will read some out in a bit. But let's get on to the next question for now.
The next question comes from Juan Silver, who has given us our title question, and it revolves around Mourinho being linked to Bale, Ozil, Griezmann and Danny Rose in the summer. And he asks, if United bring them in, will they be the best team in the Premier League, and what does it mean for the rest of the squad?
Surely not. Surely that's not happening.
Personally, I don't think it's feasible that they bring all 4 in. I think it is extremely likely that either Bale or Griezmann will join Man United in the summer. Probably more likely Bale. I actually hate to say it, but Bale, I think right now Bale needs a career change, just to change something. It just seems to have got a bit.
Yeah. They've made him available after that thigh injury, haven't they? I think he's missed 72 match day squads as well in the last 2 or 3 years.
It's just got a bit slow for him, isn't it? I think he just needs something to reboot his career, because he's a phenomenal player and on his day is one of the best in the world. Whereas I think Griezmann potentially would be a more consistent signing, and I would prefer Griezmann as a Manchester United fan, but I also think that Gareth Bale's, I don't know, there's something, the X factor around Bale.
So if you sign Bale, where does he fit in?
Bale plays on the left for Manchester United, 100%. And then what that means for Martial and Rashford, I'm not too sure, because I'm sure one of them would end up leaving, and that is an absolute disaster for Manchester United, I'll be completely honest. Although, does Zlatan stay an extra season? If he doesn't, then you've only got one striker in Lukaku, so maybe Rashford goes as an out-and-out number 9 as a backup there.
Yeah.
To be honest, as an England point, I prefer Rashford to slowly start to move into that position.
Yeah, as for Danny Rose as a left-back option, phenomenal signing. Man United's left-back options are a continual problem. Luke Shaw is nowhere near good enough. We have to cut our losses now of Luke Shaw.
Until he goes to Spurs, and
I'm sure he
gets the best.
Don't get me wrong. In a similar way to Luke Shaw, in a similar way to Gareth Bale, Luke Shaw's career is stagnating at Manchester United, and he needs a change to kick it back into gear, because he is a cracking player.
Yeah.
And he will do a great job for maybe an Everton or a Tottenham, and I'm sure Pochettino would get the best out of him. But right now for Man United, we are maybe looking for something else in his role. I don't think he suits the Mourinho system. It obviously prefers Ashley Young at left back. Ashley Young, can I just say, has been a revelation for Man United. So Danny Rose would have to, it sounds weird, but Danny Rose would have to put in a serious shift to usurp Ashley Young right now.
He's just been a consummate professional, right? And he's a great club servant.
Yeah, he hasn't put a foot wrong in months.
Yeah. But in terms of, we haven't discussed Ozil yet. I think Ozil had only come in if Mkhitaryan went back to Dortmund. I agree with you. I think Griezmann's a better option than Bale, because Bale's approaching 29 and it is an injury worry and would require a huge investment, not just in that one-off lump sum, but in terms of wages as well. I think he's on near enough £300,000 a week at Real Madrid. And Griezmann gives you more tactical flexibility. You can play 10, you can play 9. Attacking midfield, out on the wing.
I agree. I think as well, I just want to say, I think Ozil is imperative for Manchester United to get. I really think Man United, for a long time, have missed a player that can just unlock a door. Just a little weighted passing behind. Mkhitaryan started it at the beginning of the season, but he's far too inconsistent.
Juan Mata's been that player at times, hasn't he? But
yeah, at times, again, but again, very inconsistent. There's something needed in that number 10 role that I think Jose has been hunting for. He's tried Mkhitaryan in there, he's tried Lingard in there, he's tried Pogba in there, he's tried Mata in there, and none of them have ever locked down a firm role. At no stage could I go, our number 10 guaranteed to start today is. On the weekend against Arsenal, I couldn't tell you he's going to start at 10.
Also as well, when they played together at Real Madrid, like Jose called him the best number 10 in the world, didn't he?
Yeah, like the Arsenal fixture, I couldn't tell you who's going to start at number 10. Lingard was phenomenal against Watford, but then the week before Mata played, and then Mkhitaryan can't even get in a matchday squad, so who plays in there?
Also, as much as it pains me to say, I feel if Ozil went to Man United, Jose would get that team disciplined enough that you could afford Mesut Ozil to be Mesut Ozil. We just don't have that discipline in our team. When you got a central midfield of Xhaka and Ramsey, that's just not good enough.
Yeah.
Because forget their actual footballing ability. One wants to go wandering off, and if you've got 3 people out there, there's a massive hole, just one ball through the middle, you're done.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the game then on the weekend, because it is in our pick 15, so we have gone for all 3 results. We've covered an Arsenal win, a draw and a Man United win, so it is open for discussion. If you agree that result can happen, which obviously was basically a free pick, it does give you a shot winning 800,000, so click the link in the description below. But what do you boys think? An Arsenal win, a draw, or a Man United win? Because we've covered all 3.
I feel Arsenal in great form at the moment. I feel we're going to be at home. Hopefully we get a nice win tonight against Huddersfield. So I think we're, other than like the Europa League, I think we're about 7 wins on the bounce. So win tonight, go into that game, smash United up, and then we'll only be 1 point behind you, up into 3rd. So I generally do fancy Arsenal for a win. I think it will be quite tight. I think Man United will go there and sit, and Jose will just set his boring team. Will set his team up. But I feel like we'll just have a little bit too much Particularly being at home. If it had been at Old Trafford, it'd be different.
Manchester United don't have a great record
at the Emirates,
do they? And I think Manchester United this season have been at their devastating best in a 4-3-3 when Pogba and Matic have played together in that midfield.
100%.
So my question to you after the game yesterday, in which Matic had to be substituted to the team's detriment, because after that you looked a lot more defensively frail. Is Matic going to be fit? And do you change your system if he isn't?
The Matic
conundrum.
The Matic conundrum. This is a massive loss. In my opinion, he is the most important member, obviously behind Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is our best player, but Matic is our most important player. He holds everything together. He sits in the middle of the park. He allows Paul Pogba to go. He gives the defence stability. He's a first receiver option from the goalkeeper, from the wing-backs as well. He is by far our most important player in midfield, and without him, we look incredibly defensively suspect.
Especially given your pool of centre-backs. They're still far from convincing.
Very unconvincing, although I will say big props to Lindelof last night. He was absolutely phenomenal. He was great against Brighton on the weekend as well. So he is well in line for a start against Arsenal. We do have injury problems. Again though, Matic injured, Fellaini injured, Phil Jones injured, like Michael Carrick injured. Of those 4, 3 are midfield options.
How was Rojo last night? Because he looks a lot better at centre-back than last season.
Rojo is a good defender, but he's incredibly rash. He has serious red mist issues where he'll either lunge in two-footed or he'll chop someone down in the box.
But did he look fit? Did he look sharp?
Yeah, he looked fit. He looked sharp as well. He'll be fine. But I think we will probably operate with 3 at the back against Arsenal. I think he'll probably go for a Lindelof, Jones and Rojo formation if possible, but Jones probably won't be fit, so it'll be Smalling. That just gives us slightly more defensive stability without Matic, and I don't think Matic will be fit, and I think the midfield will probably be Fellaini, Pogba and Herrera. I'll go for those 3 in midfield. I think it's going to be quite defensively sound. Maybe even Zlatan and Lukaku up front.
You're hoping to see Lacazette, Ozil and Sanchez in the same team again?
Yeah, if we played as it wasn't even about the players on the pitch that day. It was their intensity. Like because like before the game, even when the first 10 minutes, we weren't that great, but then we kind of stuck in there and we thought, you know what, let's just roll our sleeves up a little bit. I don't want to sound like traditional English, what you say, but it looked like they didn't want to get beaten that day, and I think that's half the battle with Arsenal. Like, get to the 30-minute mark when you're still in the game, and then we can start knocking the ball about, and then it puts more pressure on the teams that come to the Emirates, where they eventually will have to start to come out a little bit further. Then there's more space for Ozil to operate, and then we could. And at times, we look like we can turn any team over, but it's just Arsenal's biggest issue the last 10 years: no consistency.
Yeah, you know what it was against Tottenham as well. Ozil, in that transitional phase, was phenomenal at getting that ball out wide slipping that ball through first time, wasn't he? He was dropping back in his own box, and some of the one-touch football you played to launch the counter-attacks, that's a sort of Arsenal kind of ethos that's Arsene Wenger's Arsenal sort of at their best, isn't it?
I think we did well at Spurs as well. Like we use our 2 wing backs very, very effectively. Hector Bellerin and Said.
Bellerin played some great balls.
But it's like we have to be against Man United. We need to be more worried about going forward than having our 2 wing backs push forward. Because if we do that, just having 5 people at the back, we look so stagnated. And if we do that, then we're poor. And then there's no room for Ozil, and then it's just like boring. Whereas if we can get Bellerin and Said both in the game, and whip, and just because the key there is it gives Sanchez a bit more room as well. It gives Lacazette to bring another player in. Then that's where Alexis Sanchez can just slip in, and he's got time.
Space. I think Jose might go for pure power. Might go for like a Pogba, Fellaini, Zlatan, Lukaku, and we'll see how you deal with set pieces from us, because we are really strong from set piece. I think I saw a stat today, that Ted Knutson diagram that was showing kind of we're scoring a set piece 1 every 2.5 games around that, and I think we will look to dominate you aerially. Maybe we'll have like a Rashford to split you a little bit as well, but who knows? Do you know? Do you agree that basically Man United, Arsenal or a draw, we've all gone for. We've covered all of the bases here, so you can't lose. Click the link in the description below for a chance to win £800,000 or at least a share of it. Let's get the next question now.
Well, we go from great clubs to great strikers, and AFC 24/7 wants to know, who is your greatest striker of all time?
Oh, it's easy.
Oh, it's very easy for you, isn't it, Dave?
It's the great one, Mr. Thierry Henry.
Henrik what?
What?
I thought we were all in agreement. King of Kings.
What, of Arsenal?
I definitely the greatest Premier League striker ever is Thierry Henry.
The only time I've ever seen Dave speechless when we met Henry for the first time and we got to be his partner in a quiz show. And he sort of gave you a little high five after a point. And your face just lit up in childish delight.
It was
surreal.
See, even now, just that thought coming back to me was very emotional.
What's your favourite Henry performance? My
favourite Henry goal ever was at the Bernabeu. It was we won 1-0. Henry scored a great way. He literally put R9 on his backside. But it was more about the team we had out that night. We weren't supposed to go there and get anything. We were supposed to go there and get smashed by Real Madrid and get knocked out of the competition. We went there and we were solid. We built from the back. Henry only needed one chance. He scored, he buried it, and we won 1-0. Took him back to Highbury, finished that game 0-0, went on to beat Juventus and then Villarreal, and then lost to Barcelona in the final. But that was my favourite Henry goal ever. How about you? Favourite Henry Larsson goal performance?
Oh, well, I mean, it was 240 of them. I felt like properly fell in love with football during Celtic's run to the UEFA Cup final in 2003. And we were just down and out in the semi-finals, away from home, needed a goal. It didn't look like it was coming against Boavista. And Larsson, we spoke about match winners earlier. There will never be another player like Larsson Moore in the SBL. He was just so decisive, and he just scored this little toe punt. And I just remember just being, as a youngster, just lifted, and I was just like pinned against the ceiling in the pub because people just throwing me about, and it was pandemonium. But I mean, the chip against Rangers wasn't bad either. I mean, I watched that like at least 5 times a day. But what about you?
I love Henrik Larsson as well. Even when he was on loan at Man United, pure class act. If we could have signed him permanently, it would have been a great transfer. I'm stuck between two. I love Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ruud van Nistelrooy, he was just a killer in the box. If the ball fell to him anywhere inside 12 yards, it was a guaranteed goal. Best goal for Ruud van Nistelrooy. Oh, do you remember the goal against Fulham where he won the goal, dribbled like similar to the Henry from the halfway line, dribbled the whole way. But I think the best striker I've seen at my club, Wayne Rooney. I don't think it'll be a long time till you see a better Manchester United striker than Wayne Rooney over a long period of time. He used to score such decisive goals as well. It's a shame that he ended his career in the way he did at Manchester United because I think it slightly tarnishes his legacy of how good he was in those early years.
The variety of goals he scored.
100% the variety, the quality as well. Even in his last couple of seasons, some of the goals he was scoring were outrageous. But I'll go for Wayne Rooney as my club's greatest ever striker. Who's your club's greatest ever striker? Let us know in the comments below. There's already a few people
having a go. What about Dorman and Pete?
Yeah, go on.
Dorman and Pete? Dorman and Zach.
Cheers for that.
Sorry, mate.
Cheers for that.
A lot of people in the comments are saying Robbie Fowler. So.
You what?
Oh.
But for me, I would have to go with Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
I think he absolutely banged at United.
Yeah, he did.
You know,
he definitely banged the crossbar, didn't he? In 2003.
Arsenal.
Got him.
Didier Drogba, 2012. Champions League final. Juan Mata whipped in the corner. Drogba, I've run out the room. We've won the Champions League. It's the greatest day of my life. And he wins the penalty. Oh, it was great. It was amazing. Anyway, Pete, tell them the next question.
Next question comes from KViz511 and he asks,
great name.
What are your thoughts on Alan Pardew's appointment at West Brom and how will his system fit their gameplay?
Go on, hamster.
He's prepared this?
I mean, okay, it strikes me as a very West Brom appointment. He's a safe pair of hands, as was Tony Pulis. And to be honest, I think Tony Pulis should have been given more time. They finished 10th last season. I think if results had gone their way in the last couple of weeks as well, they would have finished 8th, the highest place for a Midlands club. And you've got to ask yourself, what are West Brom's aspirations if not Premier League safety year in, year out? Yeah. Without significant investment, they're not even going to get to a Europa League berth. Look at Everton, £200 million, not good enough to secure them European football this season. Pardew, he tends to turn results around very quickly. I think he did a very good job at Newcastle. But for me, I'd have liked to have seen West Brom try something a little bit different because I believe that the results are going to be very predictable. Yeah. Premier League safety, safe brand of football, job done. What about you, Per?
Well, I think I agree with your original point. Like, where did West Brom think they belong? Like, this is not me digging anyone out. It's like, as you said, I know how much Everton have spent in the but like they spent money to try and get close to top 4. They're nowhere near the top 4. Nowhere near. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like
top 6.
What is the actual end game here? Have they sacked him because they feel, okay, we're never going to be nowhere near the top 6, but we just want to play a better brand of football? If that's the reason they've done it, then fair enough. And Pardew will come in and he'll play more expensive football. There'll be a little bit more kind of risky at the back, but you know, they're probably going to score a few more goals. But it's like, what is the end game here?
Yeah, they don't have a philosophy in terms of playing style. It's not like the Southampton fans who traditionally at St Mary's, they enjoy watching attacking football, don't they? Used to a fair few goals. And with Puel, they were sort of disgruntled with the lack of attacking football. It's proved that, you know, to be the case that it wasn't necessarily Puel. It's just a shortage of players. But mate,
it's an uninspiring choice, isn't it? It's an uninspiring choice.
I'm not bothered.
But I have to. I spoke. One of my good friends is a West Brom fan, and I was speaking to him about would he be happy with Pardew, and I have to say, the general atmosphere around West Brom is that they're very happy Pulis is gone.
Really?
Did he lose the dressing room? Because that strikes me as weird as well, because he signed so many new players.
His brand of football can become tiresome, for one. I mean, this is a club that, although we're talking about where do they want to be and stuff, from what I've heard, they weren't even selling out their home games against Chelsea and Man United under Pulis, which potentially, it just isn't good enough for a club. Right, they should be selling out those games.
They were averaging under a goal a game by the time he was sacked. So from an entertainment perspective, which we can't really empathise with, can we?
I think he basically said, look, we all knew that he had very little time left when he was celebrating with the players a 0-0 home draw against Burnley, was effectively where he thought the club were at. He basically thinks, look, we should be beating Burnley comfortably at home. And I find it hard to disagree with him. I think West Brom maybe do have higher aspirations than a club like Burnley. And okay, Burnley are higher than them in the table right now, but look, West Brom's record this season and the tail end of last season has been horrible, especially away from home. And I just think maybe it needed a freshen up. And I don't actually think Alan Pardew's the worst man for the appointment. Every club he's been at has seen the first 12 months is a bit of a bump. And they brought him in on, I think, is it a 2-year contract? Which is pretty smart if you're West Brom. Maybe they are just thinking, look, we're going to get through the season, have him next season, and then we're going to plan for the future. Because I think things have got to the stage under Pulis where not only did West Brom need a new challenge, maybe even Tony Pulis needed a new challenge. I think the same happened to him at Stoke. We all saw Stoke as that sort of force for about 2 years. And then what happened to him? They just tailed away and he got sacked.
I mean, he solidified Stoke's status in the Premier League, didn't he? But similar to what I just said with Puel, how the fans thought it was the manager more so than the personnel.
Risk for sure.
It could be the case here. You know, Salomon Rondon's not scoring the goals, is he? I mean, Rodriguez, who they signed from Southampton, hasn't necessarily panned out, I don't think, as of yet.
No,
but
really.
yeah, it's like everything, time will tell, I guess. But
it's a risk.
Not an expert.
Not the biggest one.
Okay, this next question comes from Sam Papas. And he asks, is there much point in the Europa League, especially when everyone constantly criticises it?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. It's such a naive English attitude to not care about the Europa League. It's still a European competition. Look at Manchester United last season. Without that trophy, they wouldn't be in the Champions League, and they probably wouldn't have attracted the likes of Romelu Lukaku, a £75 million striker who's joined and other clubs wanted. I think if United hadn't won the Europa League, certainly he would have gone to Chelsea. And I think we would have probably struggled to attract Matic as well. A club like Arsenal should be putting loads of their eggs, not all of them, but loads of them in the Europa League's basket. It's potentially an easier route to Champions League football than the Premier League's top 4. Seriously, that's saying something, but I genuinely believe that.
It's also, as like an actual tournament, if there's money to be made, it's never going to be worth it, is it? As in, like, forget from like a club-by-club basis, there is money in the Europa League.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I mean, the chasm is so big now between the top teams, i.e. the people who make the last 16 all the time, and a club like my club, Celtic. The Europa League is a necessity. Our aim when we went into the Champions League this season was to come third, and then drop into the Europa League and now provide vital cash, not just for us, but for all the other members of the SPFL as well, because they get a split of the TV revenue. So it's the lifeblood of a lot of smaller clubs. If you support a big club, then chances are you won't care about it. But this season, Napoli are dropping into it, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund. There's going to be some blockbuster ties in there.
I mean, Man United Ajax is a final last year, and you look at how Sevilla did under Unai Emery in the competition. And
also, it just
that got him a job at PSG.
No, but the whole point is to win trophies. It gives clubs another opportunity to bring home a trophy to their fans.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's great for the fans.
Yeah.
Who cares about a club?
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I completely agree. Right, next question.
Our next question comes from Swagato Sarkar, who submitted
classic.
about 50 questions, so you've got to commend his perseverance. Commitment. But the one we chose was if Ozil, Sanchez and Wenger all leave Arsenal this season, who will replace them and where will Ozil and Sanchez end up?
Oh,
well, it looks like, the thing is, if I'm being honest, Sanchez definitely should have been sold in the summer. It was quite clear he wasn't going to sign a new deal. What is the point in letting him run down? It's like, again, it comes to that point, like,
Wenger
even...
doesn't care.
It's who? Wenger?
Wenger's gone.
Like, it's so strange at the moment, the way the club's been run. It's like they're just literally between a rock and a hard place. They're not planning for the future. They just seem to just be plodding along. And I guess when you're hitting top 4 and having a decent run in the cup each year, that's fine. But as soon as you don't do that, what are we actually doing here? And I think, as much as it pains me to say, I think potentially it's time for a bit of a change at the top. I know they're trying to do things from like a technical perspective, where they're bringing this guy in from Barcelona who's going to take negotiations and contract, and even like the actual transfer aspects of things, which hopefully we don't. So hopefully we don't have another scenario where our 2 best players are going again on a free. If they're going to go pay 60 million, just what Spurs do every year, if you want their best players, then you've got to pay like the big money. The issue is when we let them go for free. Essentially happened with Van Persie when we had to let him go for a reduced rate of what he should have gone for. Same with Nasri. There's absolutely loads of these players. So that needs to stop first of all. Where Ozil will be playing, it again, pains me to say, probably will end up at Manchester United. I think it'll be a great sign for Manchester United. We paid a lot of money for him, but we didn't put the infrastructure in to go and play alongside him. So when you've still got a midfield, as I said, of people like, and it's not me digging out Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey's a very good Premier League player, but that's all he is. He's a very good Premier League player. He's not a top 4 Champions League player, in my opinion. You know, he'll give you everything he's got, but you need more than that. I was hoping if Sanchez had been sold at the beginning of the summer, he should have gone out and offer him for X amount in Europe and X, Y amount within like the Premier League. So, for example, if we're going to Man City, it's 50 million, this is his price tag. If we send him to PSG, it'd be 35 million. I don't understand why that wasn't done.
Yeah, I mean...
I think Sanchez, either City, Juventus or PSG, Ozil, Man United.
Yeah, I think Sanchez nailed on City, I really do.
Or I've seen Bayern, which would be really interesting, because they're looking for creative players, aren't they, now that Ribery and Robin are aging.
And what would that mean for the future of Hammers?
Wenger. Wenger, go and manage France.
And they also said, who would you like to replace them?
England.
Who would be your ideal manager?
Again, ideal manager? That's a good question.
You've got Tuchel,
if I'm being honest, like, if Madrid was to sack Zidane, I would love Zinedine Zidane. I know he doesn't have the experience, but we need things of Arsenal now.
X factor.
We need a fundamental change in how we're being run. So if we're bringing someone in who's basically a Wenger light, or someone who's just going to plan for next 2 years, I don't care about that. I want someone to come in that can attract an Antoine Griezmann if we need it. But at the moment, we're not in that league at the moment.
Yeah, because I think I would have said Thomas Tuchel beforehand, but then I think the appointment of the Borussia Dortmund head scout means that Thomas Tuchel is now not going to happen, because they had that incredibly public bust-up where they almost got in a fight with each other.
It probably means that it was never going to happen.
Yeah, and
I imagine Tuchel will probably go to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, maybe Bayern Munich, maybe even Chelsea if Chelsea's job becomes available and Conte leaves at the end of the season. But I also think all 3 of them will leave in the summer. I agree with you, Dave.
Which will be very, very sad.
Will it? But
Au revoir.
Yeah. What do you think? Are they going to go? Are they not? Let us know in the comments below. Next question.
Yes, keep the comments coming in. Make sure you like the video and click the link in our description to join our syndicate. And this next question comes from Dev Das, and he asks, who is the best goalkeeper in the world right now? Joe, you can't say David De Gea.
I can't say David De Gea. If I can't say David De Gea, Ter Stegen. Ter Stegen at Barcelona is the best. Right now, Manuel Neuer is injured, so we can't really include him. And apparently I'm not allowed to say David De Gea, so I will say Ter Stegen, although Edison also has a shout.
Yeah, Mate, I think you've answered that pretty emphatically. Ter Stegen,
Jackson.
You said he couldn't say De Gea, I'll say De Gea. Because I think without him in the Man United squad, they're nowhere near top 4.
Oh!
Yeah.
Said it.
He's crying.
He said it. But what do you guys at home think? Let us know in the comments below. I said that about 4 times already in the last 20 minutes. But next question.
Next question comes from Level Up, and they ask, which player do you think deserves a move to a bigger club? And they have suggested Richarlison.
Are Watford in our syndicate this week?
Let's have a look if Watford... You talk about it.
What?
Watford are in our syndicate against Tottenham Hotspur. We've gone for a Tottenham 1-0 away win at Watford.
Vicarage Road, not an easy place to go. People who deserve moves to bigger clubs. I was talking about Goretzka this morning. Young winger? Yeah, he's a young winger. Young player from the Bundesliga. I believe he's joining Arsenal in January, potentially running down his contract. Players in Serie A. People like... I've been watching a fair amount of Serie A recently. And, I mean, AC Milan are a big club, but and they attracted a lot of decent calibre players in the summer. But I think Lucas Moura, although he's at a very good club already, Lucas Moura should be playing more football than he is at PSG, and I'd like to see him go to AC Milan. But
I like that.
They
That's
need
nice.
pace in their team. They need a bit of power, a bit of directness. Joe really liked it. But, what about you boys?
Well, I know this might be a bit of an obvious choice, but Virgil van Dijk should definitely be playing in Champions League football.
Yeah.
He's literally the difference, 10-12 points a season to a team.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I mean,
Rolls Royce.
I think he is 10-12, especially to a club like Liverpool. If Liverpool had signed him, I think it would be 10-12 points better off. I think there's... Who am I going to say? Richarlison. I really do rate Richarlison, and I don't think he's going to be there for long. I think he'll end up at a club like Borussia Dortmund after too long.
Really?
Maybe... Shall I say Riyad Mahrez? Say Riyad Mahrez, just for argument's sake. I think that there are a fair few clubs that could do a lot worse than sign Riyad Mahrez next summer.
Roma in for him.
Roma being one. I also think Arsenal could do a lot worse than signing Riyad Mahrez as one of the replacements for a Sanchez or an Ozil.
Maybe Idrissa Gueye at Everton. We've said it a few times on Sunday Vibes, but
he was shocking on the weekend.
Yeah, he was. He wasn't great. Morgan Schneiderlin. I mean, there's a common theme at Everton in that they've got good players and they've got bad managers.
It's also as well, there's a lot of Arsenal players now that should be playing Champions League football that are not. So we need to get back in that Champions League ASAP, else we're going to be left with a very...
There's quite a few people in the comments saying Zaha.
It's a good shout.
But we tried Zaha at Manchester United. He wasn't good enough at that level.
I actually think... This might sound a bit harsh, but I think he's enjoying being a big fish in a small pond.
I agree completely. Could not agree more. As soon as he came to Man United, he got completely swamped.
Yeah, but he was a young...
Yeah, he's mature with the responsibility.
He has matured, but it would cost a lot to get him out of Palace as well. I mean, English, long-term contract. Palace don't need the money. It would cost a lot. But
maybe De Ligt.
Yes,
Ajax. Apparently, he's been linked with Barcelona. Outstanding young central defender. It's hard to say now, isn't it? Because young players get snapped up so quickly.
Really quickly. But Richarlison didn't, and Richarlison is a very good shout, and he is part of the Watford team that are in our Colossus Bet Pick 15 challenge. We have gone for a 1-0 Tottenham away win at Vicarage Road. Man United obviously got the win there last night. They are better on the road as well, Watford.
We've also gone for an Atalanta victory. Massive shout out to Papu Gomez.
Yes, big shout out.
He is a don and he should be at a bigger club, although he's like 29 now. So
yeah, so we've gone for Atalanta and Tottenham wins in the syndicate. If you agree with us, click the link in the description right now. Go over, put 20 pence into it and you win a shot at £800,000. Click the link right now. Let's get another question though, because we've got 15 minutes exactly left, Zach.
Yes, well this one comes from James McCole and he asks, who is FDFC's standout player and who is the fastest?
Oh.
I'm definitely not the fastest. I have pint-sized legs.
Now I'm sure you will have, guys at home will have seen Football Daily versus Euro Football Daily. If you haven't already, go and check that out. But I think there's only one answer for standout player and it's Luka Nichols.
Yeah, especially on the day.
Yeah.
Plays Saturday League as well, so he's a decent quality of player. Although quickest You're pretty nippy
I'm
over
the
60 metres.
I am the quickest in the team.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
There's nobody
I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying I'm quicker.
Milan,
I'm just
quicker
saying.
than Milan?
I had a 100-metre race against Milan and I beat him. So
Me and you, mate. We got
quicker
cramp
than
after
Milan.
60
I
minutes.
was done, mate. I had to sub myself off.
Yeah,
Come on.
These boys are quite slow. But yeah, I'd say Luka Nichols is a standout.
Not in the head
player.
though, where it counts.
Also, there's a couple good shouts in midfield. I think Hibbert is a decent little midfielder for a standout.
Goff, very cultured.
Yeah. But keep your eyes peeled for
Drinkwater's looking at us as to say why didn't he get a shout?
Yeah.
I mean, good utility man is Drinkwater. So
yeah, is he really? We've also got Zach between the sticks. Is he even the number one? Not too sure. But it's going to be an interesting time. So keep your eyes peeled for loads of FTFC content.
A video comes out this Saturday.
Yes. So watch.
What is it? No one knows.
It should be fun though. Whatever it is. Let's get the next question.
The next question comes from Lee Sylvester, and he asks, what is your favourite team from your club's history?
Oh my word.
Oh, we did this thing with Sport where you have to answer 30 players. No, not 30 players. You have to answer as many players as possible from your club in 30 seconds. And I got to about 16 and just completely forgot. Like, you know when you just bottle it? It just happened. And I remember, like, some of the players I pulled out were absolutely drivel. Like, Mohamed Silla, Stephen Pearson, who we got from Motherwell. So when I think of players, apparently I think of awful ones. But Martin O'Neill, Celtic for me. Easy, nailed on.
Well, I would say 99 United, but I didn't really experience it enough. I was only like 5 years old, so I suppose it doesn't really count. I'll say the 2008 Champions League final winning team, Man United, when we should have won the treble that season and we bottled it and only won the double. That was an incredible team. Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, Scholes, Carrick, Hargreaves. You had Vidic and Ferdinand at centre half, just beasts. Edwin van der Sar in goal. It's just incredible. Just didn't really put a foot wrong, that team, the whole season, other than the FA Cup.
Mine's pretty obvious. Arsenal 2014. They were ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, not the only set of, the fan here to have an invincible team in their lifetime.
I mean, yeah.
Comparable.
Ours is golden, Joe.
Is it? Decent. How'd you do in Europe? Right, let's go to the next question then.
This one comes from Marco V7, and he asks, after the incident with Messi's no goal on the weekend, why do you think La Liga bosses are unwilling to spend just €4 million on goal line technology?
Isn't it obvious?
They're cheap.
It's rigged.
No.
Don't know.
I think they want to, but maybe they're just a bit nervous about it. They will next season, inevitably. But it's the same reason that the Premier League hasn't adopted video replays this season. I think they wanted to see it play out for a full season. Obviously, the Premier League had it last year, but just maybe a little bit behind the times.
It will definitely happen.
Yeah, it'll definitely happen. Give it some time. Stop being so rushed.
I thought you were going to say robot refs then.
Patience.
We're talking off camera. He reckons there's going to be robot refs. So
there will be robot refs.
That right
in
there
the
is just a
future.
glimpse into this man's head.
I guarantee you there'll be robot refs in the future. Within 20 years, robot referees. Mark my words. Right, next question.
Next question comes from Bradley Long, and he asks, how long do you think Pep Guardiola will stay at City?
Good question.
Bradley Long asking about long stuff.
Well,
I like that.
I think he'll stay there.
What?
Didn't really land.
I think he'll probably stay there until City win the Champions League. Which could be next couple of years.
I think if he was to win the Premier League, I actually think that would shorten his tenure. I think he just wants to win the Premier League, prove he can win it, win a domestic title on in 3 different countries. Premier League especially the toughest league, probably is. But in his book, not his book, the book on his time at Bayern, the writer, who is it? I escaped from mine. Anyway, forget it. He sort of said that Pep likes to stay at a club for 3 or 4 years, and then he experiences burnout because of his obsessive nature. But I believe he wants to manage Brazil. I don't know if that's still his dream, but I think he may be going to international football late 40s.
Yeah, he's always dreamt of managing Brazil, and I think the writer of that book also suggested in it, didn't it, that his...
It's not Honigstein, is it?
No, his aim is roughly to do it in 2022, so he's not going to be there for the longest amount of time. I personally think till about 2019, and then he'll just, that's it. If he hasn't won it, hasn't won it. But that's his goal.
But I think City got him to leave a legacy there, didn't they? They brought in Begaristan from Barcelona. They built this academy. They've got this way of playing now. It's like it was almost like a reset button, and he was they just pressed his bald head and reset the club.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Can I just say the comments as well all agree with me? 2030 robots, 100%.
Yeah, we're not saying that, you know,
Robot
there
refs,
won't be
robot
robots
refs.
in 20 years.
Robot refs are coming to a pitch
I mean,
near you.
I already thought like Graham Poll was a robot anyway.
The producers are going, come on, shift it back over. So let's go back to Social Corner, come on.
Okay, this one comes from Craig Lamina. And he asked, which Chinese Super League footballer would you want in your team? I'm going to list them off for you.
Go on, thank goodness.
Tevez, Oscar, Hulk, Jackson Martinez, Ramirez, Gervinho, Alexandra Pato, and Axel Witsel.
Pato's over in China.
Well, if I'm being honest, the amount of money these guys want, I don't want any of them.
I don't want any of them either at United.
You know what I mean?
You would take them all at Celtic, but nobody else would take any of them.
Tevez for the next 5 years, wouldn't he?
Hold your tongue. How's Tevez getting in the side with Lee Griffiths and Moussa Dembele up top?
Well,
How's anyone getting on a wing with Scott Sinclair on there? No, never mind. I'd probably take Oscar.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, if you have to take one, it would be Oscar. I agree. Still got youth on his side, has he?
26?
27.
Maybe.
Ruined his career, but let's get some more questions.
10 years younger than...
10 minutes,
Pata.
10-minute warning, so get all your questions in, because there's 10 minutes left.
The next question comes from Big Nesh, and they ask, since Buffon recently won Serie A Player of the Year, who do you think is the greatest Italian legend?
The greatest Italian legend.
This is very easy.
I think
and it's not Buffon as much.
Yeah, I think I agree with
I think Italian footballers sort of like... There's probably more legendary Italian footballers than any other country. Oh, controversial.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Can I
Go on.
Paolo Maldini. Right, shut up with that.
Don.
He's just ridiculous.
Potential.
5 Champions Leagues.
The
thing with Paolo Maldini, like he evolved his game to play in about 3 different eras of football.
Right.
He's different.
Mine for that would be, I'll put trophies aside for this because there's been so many Italians that have won so many trophies, and I will say Francesco Totti. I think his doggedness to stay at one side for that amount of time. I think
Same
he was
as
there.
Maldini.
But I think he was there. I think he actually made his youth team debut in the 80s, and he retired in 2015-16. It's ridiculous.
I mean, he was a phenomenal player as well. And you talk about flexibility. Totti played number 9, false number 9, 10. Classic striker, attacking mid. Yeah. What about you? Got people like Dino Zoff,
Del Piero. People are saying Baggio. There's a few shouts for.
Yeah.
Nesta. They've obviously a lot.
Baresi. Obviously, he taught Maldini everything he knew.
Yeah.
And then some. But
people
yeah,
agreeing with Dave Jackson.
Such a hard question.
Thank you very much. Agreeing with me.
So
it's a lovely jumper as well.
It is nice.
It is really nice. 8 minutes left on the live stream.
8 minutes.
Time for 8 questions. If you get them in there quick enough, let's go quick fire. Zach, let's do it.
Oh, this one comes from JMO, and he asked, who will be relegated this season in the Premier League?
Oh, relegated. Brighton, Swansea, Bournemouth.
I think Bournemouth will do enough to stay up. I wanted Burnley to go down. They're turgid brand of football, but apparently not. So I do agree with Brighton, not got enough in terms of personnel. Swansea are looking pretty weak. And I hate to say it, but maybe Newcastle. Not fared well, had a bad couple of results in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, very consistent.
And I think Rafa Benitez, if he gets a couple of players in January, I think he's very dependent on his recruitment in January because he wasn't happy in the summer.
Okay. Palace, Huddersfield.
Oh, we forgot Palace.
No, they
completely forgot Palace. Palace.
Danny Murphy said they can't go down.
I completely forgot they even existed. Palace, yeah, completely.
Palace, Huddersfield, and Brighton. I think they're
not Huddersfield.
Not Huddersfield.
Swansea instead of Huddersfield. Then
Palace, Brighton, and Swansea.
Huddersfield will stay up?
Yeah. Much better than Swansea.
I think they'll have a decent run now, but over the course of the season, it just won't be enough.
Palace, Brighton, and Swansea.
But we'll see, won't we?
This is meant to be quick fire as well, so let's get the next one in.
The next question comes from Prashant Mishra, who asks what did Dortmund need to do to salvage their season and why haven't they sacked Peter Bosz yet?
There's a quick answer to that, sack Peter Bosz.
Stop being... I mean, everyone was waxing lyrical when they won the first, 8 games or whatever. Stop being awful in defence. They've got a lot of injuries at the moment. So, yeah, come on.
Sack Peter Bosz.
Get it together. Next
question.
I don't think you realise what quick fire questions is. But okay, this one comes from Boy77. Should Patrick Roberts be given a chance in the City squad or should he move elsewhere / stay at Celtic?
Go on, mate. You are...
Oh, mate. Bernardo Silva's not even getting a game at Manchester City. I think Patrick Roberts is a beautiful little footballer, but he should probably move on to pastures new. He won't be at Celtic. We tried to buy him in the summer. Pep was like, you're not having him. You'll ruin him in Scotland. And he'll probably go to Southampton next season.
Leicester. He'll end up at Leicester. Replace Mahrez. Go to Leicester.
If he does come to Leicester, I'll find where he lives.
Yeah, I think he will go to Leicester. But we've gone for a Leicester win against Burnley as well in our Pick 15 challenge. If you want to be involved, chance to win £800,000. Release a share of it. Click the link in the description below to access it here. Next question.
Next question comes from Harry Hudson, who asks, when do you think Arsenal will challenge for the title next?
If I'm being honest, when Arsene departs.
Oh.
Because it's like rot. There's rot in the club. We need to. And I never. The thing is, I never want to see Arsene Wenger sacked. I want to see him like relieved of his duties. So,
the silk glove, not the
exactly.
iron
So he
fist.
can go up top and just oversee the dynasty that he's built. So until Arsene Wenger goes, we don't have enough. We don't have enough consistency.
Go on then, social corner.
Cool. This one comes from Hustle B, and he says, have Man City already won the Premier League? Keep those questions coming in.
Probably.
Let's keep it very short. Yes.
I mean, no, but strong contenders, obviously. Manchester United, I think, if they can put a run together, we'll take them all the way.
Oh. 5 minutes left. Quick fire questions.
Next question comes from Ryu LaBeouf, who asks, if Zidane is to be sacked, where will we go?
Arsenal.
Arsenal, yeah. I'd actually love him.
Realistically, though.
Dave says, mate.
Well, it depends. I think it depends how France win the World Cup. You're potentially going to be the France manager next season.
Great shout. Yeah, great shout. Right, next question.
Luke Gomez, if you didn't support your team, who would you have supported?
Oh, go on. You, Exeter.
I don't know. I literally couldn't tell you.
Maybe Liverpool.
Birmingham City. That's where the old boys from. Yeah, that's where the old boys from.
Oh.
Go on the Blue Noses.
Keep the questions coming. Let's get the next one.
Blinders.
Philip Agg asks, what do you think of Inter Milan's performances this year, and do you think they'll finish in the top 4?
Oh, dreadful. No, absolutely not. Lazio are so much better than them, and they're 5th at the moment. I think Sampdoria are above AC Milan in the league. They've scored, I think, 10 goals fewer than Sampdoria and conceded twice as many as Roma. Awful.
Yeah, I also think AC are crap. Right, next question.
Okay, this one comes from Luke Rolland. With Lukaku hitting poor form recently, should Ibrahimovic start against Arsenal?
No, he shouldn't start against Arsenal. Keep the faith in Romelu Lukaku. To drop him now would absolutely crucify his already shot to bits confidence. So keep rolling him on. And also, Zlatan's just not ready to start yet. He's literally been off for 9 months with an ACL injury.
What has gone wrong with Lukaku? I don't like. How's he
lost a bit of confidence, mate. He lost a bit of confidence. He scored 10 goals this season. Scored
That's
last
what I'm saying.
week.
He started amazing.
Yeah,
like,
he's just lost a little bit of confidence. He'll be back to winning ways soon.
I think I just said that AC Milan conceded half as many as Roma when they've conceded twice as many. So, you know, just wanted to
correction.
Thorough.
After the fact. Next question. We've got 3 minutes.
Asterisk.
3 minutes.
Yeah. Next question comes from Toffs, and they ask, what do you make of Sam Allardyce taking over Everton?
It's actually an alright appointment. He's there until the end of the season with the option of an extra year, so I actually think it's a pretty good stabilising appointment while they can sort out a decent manager in the long term.
Oh yeah, so he's not a decent long-term manager.
No.
Predictable, but sound.
yeah, they will definitely finish mid-table now.
Yeah.
Fine.
Fine.
This one comes from Guna12. Do you think Jack Wilshere should leave Arsenal?
Definitely not. I said it VFN so many times. I think by the end of the season, he will not only be playing in the Arsenal team, he'll probably be Arsenal captain.
Oh, that is dreadful to think about, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, I literally don't care. Next question. Time for 2 more.
2 more? Well. Next question comes from Richard Wright, and he asks, why did the Premier League recycle so many managers? Why not take a risk with Ryan Giggs or Patrick Vieira?
Richard Wright, is this the Man City keeper?
Why not take a risk
he's
with
got
Ryan
some time.
Giggs? Because Ryan Giggs has not proven himself at any level of management, so he cannot and does not warrant a top-tier
I think
job.
with top players, there is this like sense of entitlement, isn't there? Like Giggsy was putting himself in the frame for the Swansea job, for the Leicester job. Just like Puel is 60 years old. He's done the rounds. He's managed some top teams in France. What part of Giggs thinks his CV is even comes near?
Yeah, I think also there's so much money in it. They can't afford to take a risk. They can't afford to take a gamble on an unproven manager. They know if they bring in a Sam Allardyce, he's at least going to keep them up. Simple as that. Too much money in the Premier League.
We got time for 1-word answer question each.
Well, this one comes from J plus Cena, and he asks, has football become too focused on money?
No, J plus Cena, it hasn't. Shrug of the shoulders.
No.
No. So there we have it. That's the end of Fan Hour. Not the best question to end on, but nevertheless, before you do anything else, make sure you click the link in the description to go over and join our Colossus Bet Syndicate. Like I said, it's the Pick 15 Challenge. Chance to win a share of £800,000. Kindly as well, Colossus Bets have done a free play to anyone that joins our Football Daily Syndicate. Once you play, you automatically qualify for that free play in this weekend's Pick 15 Challenge. Thanks very much to Colossus Bet for sorting us out with that one, by the way. Yeah, go over there, click the link in the description, follow them on Twitter as well. Colossus Bets is the handle. All of that good stuff will be in the description below. Thanks so much to Christopher Hamill, Dave Jackson, Zach Jalab, and Peter Dorman for joining me as well. And we'll catch you later. Bye!
Peace!